Cool. Loading.
Yeah, lots of loading. Cool. Hello and welcome to Meat Academy Online. Today I'm going to be talking... Hello and welcome to Meat Academy Online. There's the microphone. Hello, welcome to Meat Academy Online. Today we're going to be delving into the futuristic world of Cyberpunk 2077.
The game that everyone's talking about.
The game that many people are hating on.
Yes, well I think it's divisive, we'll put it that way. Divisive?
It's one of those games that's definitely making a lot of news headlines with a lot of bugs and whatnot. An unfinished game, even though they pushed it back multiple times to get it ready.
Yeah,
I think they would have been nicer if they probably just gave themselves a bit more time till next year.
I think so. They were rushing to get it for Christmas, and I think that was probably not the best option. As for Northern Hemisphere summer release would have been better.
Yeah,
I think
in retrospect,
just so they had that extra time. It's the same business versus creative.
Coming at loggerheads.
Look, I understand people are paying a lot of money for the game, but also these are real people making this game. It's not a robot that you just... and things just work. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. So I see both sides.
Yeah. I think people are a lot more vocal about this sort of thing these days.
Yeah.
It used to be just a common thing with most games, like especially PC games and all that sort of thing. If you didn't have like the best graphics card or that, really expensive hardware, you'd be running into a lot of issues with running games.
Yeah. The whole culture around developing games has changed too, where in our PS2 days, PS1 days, back then it was you make a game and that is the game.
Yeah. There's no patches.
There's no nothing. It's out and it's there. So they had to make sure that this game was perfect.
Yeah.
But now, games are getting bigger and, they've got that chance to go back and rework it. So they're kind of good. Sometimes their thoughts is good enough, get it out there, we'll fix it later. And that's where this, have a big game like this, very grand, very large.
Yeah.
Then they're like, all right, we've got to get it out this date. I think it's a mix of multiple things.
Yeah.
All came together. There would have been higher ups saying, this is good enough, we have to get it out. Let's just get it out.
So we're playing this on PlayStation 4.
Yes.
So obviously we haven't got...
Us peasants.
Yes, we haven't gone all out and bought a whole new PS5 for this.
Well, you can't get them anyway at the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a huge rush. This is me being fresh. Like last time when we played Tony Hawk's, you were fresh. Now I'm fresh. So we've flipped it.
So you get to choose 3 classes, Nomad, a Street Kid, or a Corpo. Nomad's like a scavenger, Street Kid's like a street, obviously,
Maybe I'll be Corpo, what do you reckon?
Ex-corporate man.
I could be a lady.
You can be a lady or a man. You want a doodle?
Be different, let's be a woman.
That's what I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Skin tone. What do we got? Do we have something real crazy, or is it just all normal?
I didn't even go through it all because I was overwhelmed.
All right, that'll do. Oh, we'll be blurring that out.
This is a completely different starting to what I did because I went the Street Kid.
Okay, so you start different. Wow. So that in itself, that's 3 times the work for them.
Yeah. So they've definitely made life hard for themselves.
Adding all these characters in like that, they didn't need to do this, which means that's more work. I'm just thinking as a developer, put yourself in the developer's shoes. The amount of work.
But I can see why people get so pissed off because you see the ads and stuff when they first release press release stuff for games, not just Cyberpunk, but every game. And they always look so good because they've created little mini movies out of it.
Yeah.
And they've put all the work and the renderings top notch.
And they do that before the game's anywhere being done.
Exactly.
So they're really just
it's just like not previs, but like a projection. The most perfect projection the game could be.
That's right. And then now people get excited for it.
It's just a hype. The
hype, and then people... And these hardcore gamers are thinking about the game for months before it comes out. And they're really getting themselves excited.
And then they get it and they're like, it's just like the other 30 games I've played this year.
Yeah. That's pretty impressive. Just looking out there, it's
I wish I went a Corpo. This is interesting. Jeez, I wouldn't even noticed or seen
should be listening to the guy, but all I've been doing is looking out the window.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
My major issue with it is obviously you can't toggle first person to third person.
Right.
Which, you know, Witcher was third person and not first person, and this is the reverse to that. So it makes them both different, which is good. And I'm not that big on third person anyway. Like, I do like to see my character because you spend so much time, you know, creating a character, and you can, and it's always nice to be able to see yourself.
Because I mean, my question would be, if you look in the reflections, you obviously see yourself.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So that means they've had to put that in. Like, if they physically hadn't modelled the character into the scene, that's one thing. But if the character is, and you're seeing them in the reflection, then the character's there. Then in theory, it's just quite easy to add.
Yeah, I just didn't understand why they didn't add that feature in. So yeah, I get a lot of vibes of Ghost in the Shell. Love the neon lighting and stuff.
Jack. Are you Jack? Jack.
Nah, Jack's the guy you're talking to.
Oh. Fail. What did I do? Sit down?
That's all I can trust for now.
Yeah, so there I am. So I'm clearly... Oh, hello.
Talk to Jackie.
I'm clearly... Yeah, I'm modelled.
Yeah, you're there.
From your experience, have you run into any issues?
Yeah. Crashed out to the PlayStation home menu, so completely out of the game, had to reboot it again.
Yeah.
Which has happened in other games. The other thing was the hairstyle I chose. I was bald. So that didn't, come through, which is a known issue at the moment. Nothing's been seriously game breaking for me yet.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, oh, screw this, I'm taking it back. This game's shit.
Yeah.
From what I've gathered, I mean, I only played a couple of hours. It's, I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
People need to back off.
As I understand from a developer's point of view, with my experience with game developing, and obviously it's not to this scale.
Yeah.
So this scale's on another thing, and it's also the ones that I work on. I can spend as long as I want on it because I don't have deadlines. Me and a small team are working on it. We don't have higher ups telling us, right, this has to be done
this week,
pushing. So I understand that point of view. But at the same time, I do need to put the other side out there too. There is that other side. People are spending a lot of money on this game, and for some people, that's a big chunk. Big ask. My view on it would be stick with it a few months, let them fix their bugs, and see how it is then.
Yeah. So what are you seeing here what do you see in this game that is appealing to you or not appealing?
Well, at the moment, it looks... I haven't been out in the real world yet, but from what I can see, it's looking really good. Like, it's got an aesthetic to it, and that's... My biggest thing is a lot of these mainstream games are starting to look they just look like any other game.
Yeah.
I could go from one level of one game, jump to another level in a different game, and it could almost feel like it's the same game. Because it's got the same art style, and it is hard to make a game that's using the exact same engine look different, but I think this one's pulled it off. One thing that I've noticed with these games, these new generation games, is they try and find excuses to expand the length of the game, like the length of the game.
Oh, these little mini missions and shit.
Like, that's the key focus, is just to make it... Oh, where am I?
On top of it.
Last as long as they can. But I think hardcore gamers are going to love that extra time on it.
Yeah. Especially when you're younger and you've got time to waste.
Yeah, this is bloody beautiful. Look at that.
That's probably the most appealing thing for me is when I first got into the open world, I was just like looking at things,
Yeah, and that's all. I'm just catching myself just stopping and looking. But I mean, that's the filmmaker in me just wants to always look at the visual side of things. What are your final?
It's decent. It's good.
Yeah.
Obviously, the expectation level's always higher than what you get. It's good. I'm enjoying it. Maybe I'll talk about it more on a podcast or something later on. The more I've done on it.
Yeah. Final say.
Yeah.
Advice looking great.
Yep.
Hopefully in 3 months' time, 6 months' time, we'll be laughing at all the issues that people have had, and it does sort of stand out as a good top game in the end. Anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, ring that bell. Be awesome.
And we'll see you in the next one.
See
you in the next one.
Thanks for watching Mini Academy Online. If you'd like to explore more of our content, click on this or click on that. Like and subscribe, thumbs up, ring bells, do a dance, sing a song, drink a hot cup of tea or coffee, and I'll see you in the next one.